everyone, welcome to We Know the Moon. My name's Tracey and I'm here with Dee.
Hi.
And today we are celebrating new moon in Aquarius. We're going to talk you through what this new moon energy means in Aquarius. Dee's favourite moon sign, because she is moon sign Aquarius.
My moon sign.
She's a bit of a specialist on this. We talk about what to do at this time, what new moon means. We're going to do a little bit of a guided, it's not a meditation today. Sometimes we do meditation, sometimes we do journaling. What would you say it is today, Dee?
Like a journaling exercise. We're actually going to be working together because this is a really good action time and it's still the start of the year. You know, January always feels dead. February, March, like the start of spring to me, feels more like the natural start of the year when you kind of have longer days and you're feeling more energetic and you're getting more bounce in your step. So this is going to be an exercise to work on our to-do list and build an overwhelm busting to-do list so that we actually this year achieve the goals that we always set for ourselves but don't actually do.
Lovely. So a bit more journaling today.
Yeah.
So Dee will guide us through that. But before we get started on Dee's lovely journaling, I'm just going to guide you through a few aromas and crystals that we suggest you use to tap into this new moon energy in the sign of Aquarius.
Yeah, because we still want you to get comfy and get settled and cozy for this exercise.
Definitely. Take some time, take a pause, get yourself in a safe, quiet space, away from distraction, where you can just listen to us and follow our guide as to what we suggest for this energy in new moon in Aquarius. So aromas, are you ready, Dee? There's quite a big list. So with the aromas, we suggest you use them in essential oil form, incense form, cups of tea, herbal teas, cooking. There's loads of different ways that you can use all of these natural ingredients. Hops.
Sorry, does hops mean just drinking beer?
I was going to say hops is in beer. I think Marmite as well. So have a pint.
Yeah.
That's how we're reading that one. Verbena, which is a nice kind of lemony herb.
Mm-hmm. Great for teas, herbal tea.
Great for teas. Great for anxiety as well. Parsley, patchouli, that really nice grounding fragrance. I always say the Marmite, you either love it or hate it. But again, really spiritual fragrance, patchouli. Pine, fennel, and star anise. We say, Dee, don't we? We do what we want. So if there's something there that you want to add to the list or not use, go with what your instinct's telling you for this new moon energy.
Exactly.
And in the crystals, we've got citrine, smoky quartz, and tourmaline. And I'll go through the meaning of those later. But again, if there's something that in your crystal bowl that's calling out to you that you need right now, grab that as well. Get yourself comfy, have your aromas, have your crystals. And Dee is now going to guide us through our journaling.
So today I'm going to do an exercise that I end up doing with almost every single one of my clients, Tracey. Sometimes we feel overwhelmed by the amount of things that we have to do. And that's just the basic stuff that we have to do to just be functional adults, let alone the other stuff that we want to do. And a lot of the times that stuff, the stuff we want to do, falls to the sideline because we're so focused on all the things we have to do. And if you're self-employed, we've got the added, well, probably also counts for people that are employed. You've got the stuff that involves working in your business, you know, processing the orders, dealing with clients, blah, blah, blah. And then you've got working on your business, the development of your business or your role. And quite a lot of stuff like that gets sidelined again because we're so focused on working in our business, doing the things that have deadlines, things directly for clients or customers. And so we often let fall to the side all the sort of strategic stuff, the big thinking, the time to sort of really think about what we want for ourselves, for our business, for our family, et cetera, et cetera. The other thing that we also let fall to the sideline when we feel overwhelmed by the amount of things we do and we need to do is our self-care. That is the first thing that we take off the list when we have too much stuff on our to-do list. And normally that's the time when we need the self-care more than ever. On top of that is the fact that when you're trying to hold your to-do list in your head, you're using so much of your headspace trying to remember what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, that in itself is overwhelming. I used to make to-do lists all over the place, used to lose them, used to never look at them, used to find them months later, realize I hadn't done any of them. On top of that, quite a lot of people find things on their to-do list that are just too big and scary. We've talked about this before, haven't we? That, for example, if you have on your to-do list to build a website for your business, you're never going to wake up on a Tuesday and think, all right, today I'm going to build a website. It's too big a scary task. Same as like writing a book. A lot of my customers, a lot of my clients, a lot of people talk to me about wanting to write a book. Again, write book is too big a task to have just on its own on your to-do list. You're never going to wake up one day and think, right, I'll write a book today. So the only way that you can actually achieve these big, scary goals is by, first of all, breaking them down into bite-sized chunks and working out what order to do them. You need to have a way in, right? So, for example, build a website. It's too big a task for any one day. You're never going to have time to fit that in your day. You're never going to be able to achieve it in one day. But if you break it down into bite-sized chunks, like collect images for the website, write the About Me section, find a designer to build the website, you can do one of those tasks a day, and then slowly you're building momentum and you're finally achieving the tasks. So that's what I'm going to work on today, is how to build an overwhelm-busting to-do list system. And this is the perfect time to do it because...
This sounds like something I need in my life right now as well,
right?
Dee, I'm telling you. 'Cause I have sticky notes everywhere. I have about 7 to-do lists going on all over the shop. And I also sometimes have on my to-do list to write my to-do list, which is just ridiculous. So it can be overwhelming and confusing.
During the exercise, I'm going to talk you through. If you need to pause at any point, if you need longer for any of the steps, then please go ahead and do that. The first step to building the system so that you can be productive and get things done, but in a calmer, more relaxed manner, is to take what I call a massive brain dump. What I want you to do now is take some time to jot down everything that you can think of that you need to do daily, weekly, monthly, also ad hoc. I want you to include tasks or projects that you would like to get started on. Do you want to write that book? Have you got plans to start a business? Do you want to declutter your house? And just take some time to just write down everything. Go into as much detail as you can. Recycling every Wednesday is on mine. Put in self-care time. So half an hour a day for self-care, for example, if you can. Make a note of that. Now, I'm going to ask you to pause and press play again once you have completed doing your brain dump. Okay, so you've written down all of your tasks, scribbled them down somewhere, made a note of everything you have to do daily, weekly, monthly, ad hoc, all the projects you want to do, all the would like to do's, etc., etc. And now I want you to make a note, put a little underline or a little star next to the items that are projects versus tasks. Let me describe the difference. A task is anything that takes ideally under 15 minutes to complete. And it's usually a single step process. And projects take longer than 15 minutes and usually involve multiple steps or people. So for example, build a website, that's a project. Write a book, that's a project. A task would be do the recycling or contact a designer about the website. So hopefully that won't take you too long, but pause if you need to. Now, step 3 in building this overwhelm-busting to-do list is to take those projects and break them down into bite-sized chunks. So break down each project into tasks. If you think that it's impossible to break down a project into 15-minute tasks, try it. Once you've broken a project down into the 15-minute tasks, it becomes much easier to start that project and then to build up momentum in completing that project. But if you have these things on your to-do list that are just way too big, you will never get around to doing them. If you need to, please pause. But what I want you to be doing for step 3 is to break all of your projects down into bite-sized chunks, into individual tasks. Step 4 is download an electronic to-do list app. Now, I don't mean your notes app on your iPhone or whatever. I mean a proper electronic to-do list app. I absolutely love Todoist, but there's other more visual ones for people who are more visual, who respond to that better, like Trello, Asana. There's Google Tasks. There's your task list in Outlook. It makes it much easier to break down into tasks, to assign dates to the tasks, to delegate the tasks. And also the key thing is that you will be able to have it on your phone, on your laptop, on your tablet, on your computer, so that it's available wherever you are, wherever you think of something to do. You can put it in your to-do list, but also you can view it wherever you are. So take some time now. You might want to pause to download an electronic to-do list and come back to me when you're done. Once you've downloaded this electronic to-do list, what I want you to do is populate your to-do list app. So this is step 5. Insert all of the new bite-sized tasks, which you've scribbled down on your bit of paper in your journal, into your new to-do list app. Depending on which one you use, but most of them have the ability to put a project on your to-do list and then break down that project into little bite-sized things. You might have a separate list for home and work. You might have separate lists for different activities. Loads of different ways you can set it up. You also have some awesome, for Todoist anyways, and I think it's true of most of them, you have templates you can download. So if you want to write a book, you can go on Todoist and have a look at their templates and download the Write a Book template, which will automatically populate the tasks required to write a book. There's also sort of new forming habits templates, declutter your house template. It's absolutely amazing on Todoist how many different templates you have, goal setting ones and so forth, weight loss, blah, 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 blah. So have a look at their templates. They're super fun to download, make it a lot easier. But yeah, step 5, populate your to-do list app with all of the tasks that you have scribbled down. Again, if you need to pause and come back to us once you've done that, now is the time. So now that you've added all of your tasks to your electronic to-do list, step 6 is one of the most important steps, Tracey, because it is to add dates to all your tasks. If you don't add dates to your tasks, they remain tasks that stay perpetually on this to-do list. But when I say add dates to each of your tasks, I don't mean that this is an official due date. It is actually the date that you think you might have time to complete the task. Again, going back to our example of building a website, maybe you know that on Thursday you've got some time to explore some freelancers on Upwork or write a job description on Upwork. Upwork being a database of freelancers, which is a really good place to find designers and so forth. So say I know that Thursday I've got some time in between meetings to do that. So I put that task on Thursday. For example, we've got things to do for clients and customers and so forth, you know, for the government, for tax, blah, blah, blah. They have the due dates. So we tend to get them done. But tasks that don't have a due date, they are easy to put off for eternity. And assigning a date to it makes it more likely that you'll get it done. So if you put little dates on each of the small chunks to get your project completed, that will help you actually get started. Things like Todoist are amazing because you can also set recurring dates for tasks that you do regularly. Again, I talk about the recycling every Wednesday, but I can write in Todoist. You have to explore some of their shortcuts. But if you write on Todoist recycling every Wednesday, it will automatically put recycling as a task every Wednesday. You can also put in tasks like the first work day, the first Monday of every month, invoice all customers. And it will automatically put that as a task for every first Monday of the month. Now, these dates are not set in stone. I mean, some of them are. If they're deadlines for clients, you know which ones those are. But you can change them. They're flexible. And you have to learn not to beat yourself up if you have to move something to another day. But the idea is that you put dates on every single thing, realistic dates, when you think you might actually have a chance to get some of them done. If they need to be postponed, so be it, but at least they're on your radar. They're not on just some magical to-do list over there in the clouds of things that you would like to do, but you never get done because there's no urgency. Step 7 is to introduce some kind of morning review. Now, this is actually one of my favorite times of day because I count it as self-care because it helps me clear my mind and it makes the rest of my day really, really productive. Start your day every day having a nice tea, nice coffee, time on your own, on the sofa, comfy, where you're looking at your to-do list. Your tasks for example, the 12th of February will be tasks that have been compiled over the last weeks, days, months, years even. So every morning, look at the tasks that have accumulated for that day and decide, looking at your schedule for the day, thinking about your mood, how you're feeling, your ability for that day, your schedule for the day, your appointments for the day, and think realistically if you can complete those tasks on this day. If you can, great, then get on with it. If you look at your list and you think, actually, I have 3 appointments with clients today, I'm feeling run down, there's no way I'm completing these 10 tasks on top of all of that. In that case, look at some of those tasks, decide which ones have to be done that day, keep them on that day's list, and move any that do not need to be done on that day to another day where they can realistically possibly be achieved. Now, the good thing is this is not procrastination. This is strategic time management.
Oh, that's fancy.
Right?
So carry it over almost.
Exactly.
Instead of just getting overwhelmed.
So because we've broken down our tasks into 15-minute chunks, it's a lot easier to look at our to-do list and to see whether we will be able to fit in the tasks realistically in our upcoming day. If you do this for 30 days, it will become a habit. So if you get used to putting all your tasks in there, you don't have to remember them. You get reminded when they need to be done. You get in the habit of breaking things down into individual tasks rather than putting big projects on there. You get in the habit of putting dates on all of them so that you actually look at them regularly and try to work out when you're holding yourself accountable. Todoists and other such things are actually quite fun as well when it comes to sharing them with other people. Todoist is free, by the way, I should say. So I'm not working on any kind of commission. They should pay me, but they don't. You can pay for a premium service and it's really cheap. It's like $28 a year or something. But to be honest, the free function has most things that you would ever want from it. Stick with it. It takes a while for it to become habit, but once it does become habit, it's just amazing how much more productive you will become. The tasks that you hate, the tasks that you procrastinate regularly, this is a novel idea, but do you need to do it?
Oh, get someone else to do it. Dump it.
No, not even. Can you dump it completely? For example, we're on certain social medias. We're not on others. Maybe we have on our to-do list set up TikTok account, but you and I procrastinate it constantly because we're in our mid-30s and we don't even understand what TikTok is. Maybe we can look at that and think, actually, let's just dump that. We don't need to be on TikTok. We don't need to be on all places. So either do it, dump it, or delegate it. My most important step was to add dates to all of the tasks. My most important tip is to do one task at a time.
Yes.
Now, that sounds obvious, but we never do it, do we? We always have our phone in our hand getting distracted by text messages. We have 800 tabs open on our browser. And it means that a 10-minute task can take ages because we are flicking through our browsers trying to find the one that we need, but we accidentally land on Facebook and then we see that we have a notification. So we're like, oh, I'll just check that. And oh, it's a message from someone. I'll just reply to that message. And then you've forgotten what you were doing in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Now, because we set up the system where we know each task is 15 minutes, it's not that big a deal, is it? Not looking at your email for 15 minutes. You can close down your email browser. The habit is to leave loads of tabs open in our browser because we think, oh, I'll need that in a bit. It's not like it takes 800 hours to open up a tab. So you do that one task at a time. And then once you've completed that task, you reward yourself with a couple of minutes on social media or you check your texts or whatever. Just need to sort of get in the habit of focusing on just one task at a time. That one is one I have to constantly remind myself about, especially the tabs on the browser. So there you go. That's our little exercise. feel free to go through and listen to it again. You might have to do the brain dump a couple of times to get all the tasks. You'll soon find that you're relying on it and in a way that makes you feel much more at ease and much more productive because you actually get these things done rather than feeling weighed down by them.
It's going to take a bit of practice as well, right?
Exactly.
Free up some brain space.
Yes.
And for those of you that have listened to our podcast episode on new moon, because we do have a series 1, based around all the moon phases, this is what new moon's about, right,
Yeah,
Dee? It's about taking that pause to just set up your to-do list, organise your goals in an easy, bite-sized way.
Can't wait to hear everyone's stories about how they get on with it. Speaking of the new moon and setting new moon intentions, I use a new moon as a point where I review my to-do list for the upcoming few weeks and think about if there's anything else that I want to introduce as a new task or project.
It's a really good time. Like I say, listen to that podcast that we recorded on what to do during new moon. And that could be new moon in any of the signs. Hopefully, by sorting your life out and your goals in Dee's guide, you'll have a bit more of a clear understanding as to where you're going. We're going to go through the sheet now for new moon in Aquarius. Like I said before, I promised I'd go through the crystals and aromas, but there's other bits as well to this moon's energy. So now is the time to start planting the seeds, despite the fact that it feels like a particularly emotional time. Surround yourself with people who act like your sounding board and help you figure out what is going on in your head and in your heart. It's an air sign, so it loves to be around people. It loves to gather information from people. It's an intellectual sign which bounces ideas off people. But instead of being the follower, it's a sign that then takes that information and creates its own way. Time to be honest with yourself and perhaps try some service to others. Charity work.
Something in the community. Have a little think if there's any community projects. Is there a friend or someone you know who needs a bit of assistance? Now's a bit of time. It's a nice time to reach out, basically.
Working with people. The aromas, we did mention these before. Hops, so drink some lager. All have Marmite. I think hops is in Marmite. Verbena, parsley, patchouli, pine, fennel, and star anise. Star anise is a magical herb. It's really fragrant. You can use it a lot in cooking. In witchcraft or magical properties, it's used for protection and to manifest success. And I think there's two key words for new moon in Aquarius, because you're going to be surrounded by a lot of people bouncing ideas and interacting with people. You do need a bit of protection, particularly if you're sensitive or empaths like Dee and I. But you also don't want too much protection that's going to shield you up and you not be interacting with the world and probably not open to success. So I'm going to try a bit of star anise. Don't know how, but it sounds like a good one for this new moon. It's the element of air, which is intellectual, analytical, communication, looking at things from a curious perspective, but then also being inventive. That inventive energy of Aquarius, making decisions, being fixed and going your own way. Now the crystals and citrine, the stone of sunshine, really lovely at creating a positive light, especially if you're bouncing ideas off people and you need a bit of creativity. Dee's holding it. I've got it with me too today, actually, chosen that stone. Great at getting people to open up to you and seeing you more positively and chatting to you. It's a really nice stone for just creating some sunshine when you're interacting with others. Smoky Quartz. Now, a wise lady told me Smoky Quartz is a great one to carry. It's like the Harry Potter invisibility cloak if you just want to go from A to B without being noticed. But I don't think that is the case for this use in New Moon in Aquarius. I think it's used for more of a positive way of thinking. So eliminating any worry, maybe worries of what others think about you, getting you to see people in a positive way, and absorbs those mental blocks for things which seem impossible. So when you're doing your to-do list and all of the stages that Dee mentioned in her guide on journaling, Smoky Quartz, if you're starting to feel a bit overwhelmed or you don't know where to start or there's something on your to-do list that might seem impossible, grab your Smoky Quartz, eliminate that negative pattern of thinking, and maybe it'll help you see a clearer path. If you feel that you are going to be around negative people, you need to put the walls up a bit more. Tourmaline, that black stone, I never use it because I find that no one ever speaks to me. Such a good deflector of people. But nice to have around your computer or your electrical devices. It's good at getting rid of electromagnetic waves, that kind of computer energy, stuff that you can't see that might interfere with your spirituality, or when you're trying to be creative, or you need clearer thoughts. Maybe you're sensitive to that side of things. I had a physicist come in my shop once day asking for Tourmaline for that exact reason. And I wish I'd asked him the science behind it. But I thought, how interesting, a physicist wants Tourmaline to protect him from his work. The affirmation. We love this, don't we, Dee? Are you ready?
Love a good affirmation.
Limitless love and limitless truth flow through me. I'll say it again.
Aww.
Limitless love and limitless truth flow through me. So have that written down somewhere that you're going to see it every day. Maybe just repeat it to yourself a few times. Have it ping up on your phone as a reminder.
You can put it in your to-do list. Yes.
Yes. These affirmations may just seem like a sentence, but repeated or kept as reminders can actually generate your brain to think in a different way.
Yeah. Well, so what I always do is a New Year tarot reading, a tarot spread. And so I'll have a card which will have an associated mantra or affirmation with it for each month. And so I set up my Todoist to repeat that task every day of that month. For example, January's mantra, I'll type it in and I'll say every day in January, and it'll pop up on my Todoist list every day for January. Put it somewhere where you'll see it a lot, so you read it a lot. Say it to yourself a few times a day or for a minute a day, however you want. Experiment with it. Yeah.
It's the power of thought. And we talk about ego sometimes conflicting or clouding our subconscious judgment, but sometimes things like this can come in handy by getting your ego to repeat and saying it. You convince yourself. It's all about kind of law of attraction. We'll be doing an episode on that hopefully soon as well. So limitless love and limitless truth flow through me. Numerology. So these are numbers that we suggest you look out for. They pop up in the time. They pop up in your tarot. They pop up on door numbers, phone numbers. So look out for the number 4. Unique, independent, spiritual, intuitive, and can be insensitive. And the number 8, connection, abundance, prosperity, ambitious, rule-driven, loyal, try thinking outside the box. Try thinking outside the box, I think sums up Aquarius, actually. That's your guide and all of our suggestions for new moon in Aquarius. Lots to do on this one, but that's what new moon's about. Lots to think about, but that's also Aquarius. We hope you have a good one. Please give us a review on Facebook if you can. We love your feedback and it really helps spread the word of what we're doing with our guided meditations for new and full moons.
Please write a review or like or follow or subscribe, whatever they call it, on whatever platform you're on, because again, that helps us move up the ranks and helps more people find us. So if you enjoyed us, please do that for us.
Happy new moon in Aquarius, everyone. Hope it's a good one for you. And like you said, let us know how you get on with your to-do list.
See you at the full moon. Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed that and you want more from us, why don't you head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/We Knew the Moon, and check out some bonus content.
Also, if you want to stay up to date, you can follow us on our Facebook page at we.knew.the.moon. If you could leave us a review on our Facebook page, that would mean a lot.
Our Instagram handle is the same as our Facebook, at we.knew.the.moon. We are on Twitter at We Knew the Moon 1, and we are also on Pinterest. Just search for We Knew the Moon.
Finally, if you want lots more fun, moon info and all things spiritual, plus our lovely shop, please visit our website, weknewthemoon.co.uk.